Hi everybody, I have had a request to just go over some basic ab work. So just learning how to engage the core properly and then set you up for all the other classes that have abs at the end. So let's get started. Start laying on your back and place your hands just on your hip bones. So feel the bony prominence of your hip. And then take your fingers and just press down on that bony prominence. And then walk your fingers inwards about 1 inch or so to the fleshy part. And this is where your lower abdomen, all the muscles of the pelvic floor kind of originate. And so you can have your legs straight or you can bend your legs. I'm going to have my legs straight because it just helps me find these muscles of the lower abdomen a little bit easier. So on an exhale, I'm going to imagine that I'm going to press my lower back into the floor. So I have a neutral spine, the lower back is kind of lifted off the ground. But when I try to press my lower back just a little bit into the floor and eliminate that natural curve, I can feel the muscles of the pelvic floor just press up against my fingertips. Try that a few times. On an exhale, try to eliminate this lower back curve. So you're not completely pressing the back into the floor, but there's just this kind of pressure downwards, and then you'll feel that muscle engage. So without releasing that muscle, feel that tension and always kind of pressing that lower back into the floor. Continue to breathe into your side of your rib cage. And every exhale, you'll feel that pressure a little bit more. Breathe into your ribs. Maintain that pressure, that tautness of the muscle as you lift the legs up, bending the knees and placing the feet flat on the floor. Okay, so now that you know where that muscle exists, every time that we move the leg, one leg at a time, the muscle responsible for bringing the leg back into the center are these muscles of your lower abdomen. So exhale and lift that leg back up to center, and you'll feel just that slight tension of that muscle, the engagement of that muscle behind your fingertips. So I'm just kind of doing one leg butterflies. And then you can start to just lift one leg at a time. Start one leg at a time and feeling that same muscle of the abdomen engage when you lift that leg. And try doing it on an exhale. So exhale on exertion, and then inhale when you let it release. Exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale. Always feeling those muscles just behind your fingertips. That's called the transverse abdominis muscle. It's like a hammock that supports your pelvic floor. Okay, so then once you are comfortable with one leg at a time, you can lift both legs at the same time. Squeeze your knees together. This hugging action will maintain this engagement and strength of the lower abdomen. And then what you can do is just kind of reach away with the feet and then bring them back into 90 degrees. So you kind of stretch a little bit away and then down, back to the starting point. And then stretch away and then down. Now, you're going to feel those muscles still working just behind your fingertips. Exhale on exertion. Inhale when you bring it back in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale again. Squeeze those legs together. Inhale. Now, when you're doing this, side note, your lower back stays in that neutral position. So continue moving, and there should be a space like a piece of paper should be able to slip underneath the lower back. You don't want to be overarching and having an excessive lower back arch. You want to keep that space small. Just the size of a piece of paper could slip underneath there. And you can do that a few times, and already you feel that work in the lower abdomen. Now that you have that muscle, you know what's going on. You can place your hands down at your side, palms down, press into the whole arm for stability. So giving yourself the upper body support allows the lower body to have the freedom to reach away. Exhale and then inhale. And exhale and inhale. Okay, that's enough. So from here, just give yourself a little windshield wiper to release any tension. And with abdominals, we do many reps of the same exercise. So when you're doing abdominal work with me, you can do every other rep until you get comfortable, until you feel that the right muscles are working rather than your neck area. Try to keep this area relaxed. Try to keep your hands supporting the weight of your head rather than your neck doing the work. Okay, so you had your butterflies, you had that engagement of the transverse abdominis, you had the one leg lifts, then you had the legs squeezed together and you had both leg lifts, and then down and up. You can just then reach away, exhale and inhale. Remember the size of a piece of paper under your lower back. There's no change in this neutral spine. The legs are hugging into your center and you're strong in your core. And you're breathing. Exhale on exertion, inhale to bring it back in. Exhale on exertion, inhale to bring it back in. Okay, let's add on a little bit of a different exercise. I call these ones the hip lifts. So I hug my legs in together, the knees are together, palms flat on the floor, shoulders, arms pressed down into the ground. And all I'm going to do is contract, squeeze, and lift, imagining that the shin is magnetized up to the ceiling. On an exhale, inhale to relax. Exhale and lift. Inhale and relax. Continue to pulse just like that. And exhale, lift. Inhale down. Ooh, exhale up. Inhale down. So there's that hugging and bracing and lifting up through the center. Exhale up. Inhale down. And it's so small, you may not even be able to see it on the screen. It's about 1 inch of a lift. So it's not a rock forward or back. It's a straight up lift of the shins and the knees right up towards the ceiling. Okay, and then you can place your feet down on the floor. Again, windshield wiper, release the tension in the lower body. And now let's work on the upper body. So the feet are hip width apart. You've got that neutral spine. Still, you can find that little bit of a press down of the lower back and feel the muscles engaged. So you're holding this kind of contracted shape in the lower abdomen. Take the hands just behind the head. You're going to cradle your head. Fingers are spread behind the ears. And when you lift, it's like the whole body lifts as a unit. So the head doesn't go excessive lift beyond just the natural curve of your upper body. And then down. Let's add an exhale when we lift and an inhale to come down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to come down. Now feel the weight of your head in your hands. Exhale to lift. Inhale to come down. Nice and smooth. Try to make both parts, the up and the down, equal in length. And your breath matches that move. Exhale. Nice and smooth. Inhale. Exhale. Imagine every vertebra laying down independently, one at a time. Good. And then every time you can have a little bit of a break. So just let your body rest for a split second and then come right back up again. Sometimes less is more, right? So just keeping it simple allows you to really focus on what's really important. Sometimes I do get a little bit fancy with the abs, but that's just to keep it fresh and fun. But start here. Always start at the basics and then build upon that. And then I always add a little bit of a pulse to keep that time under tension and to take that muscle to exhaustion. And that point of exhaustion is not a feeling of pain. It's more of like this energized, fiery state in the muscle. But you don't go beyond that point. There should be no pain in any of the exercises. So you can just do as many as you can in the pulse. You're keeping your shoulders lifted, and you're just doing that pulse. If you need a little refresher, let's take our one hand just to that hip bone. Walk your fingers inwards about an inch, and you're going to feel the muscle right at the bottom. So this is where it originates, that whole abdominal wall muscle. It comes up through the center, and it attaches right near the sternum. So this whole area is now working in our crunches. Let's have a little bit of a break in windshield wiper. We're going to add both of those motions together, so the upper and the lower body. Breathe. Okay, so feet flat on the floor. Remember, slipping a piece of paper just about that size. Slight tuck of your tailbone. This muscle is engaged. Hands behind your head, cradling your head. Fingers are wide. Exhale, lift your upper body and lift one leg up. And then place it down. And then now try the other leg. Exhale. Inhale to come down. Smooth and steady. Thigh comes up about parallel, about vertical. So it's a vertical line in the thigh up to the sky, and then lay it down. Exhale, come up. Inhale to come down. Exhale to come up. Inhale to come down. Remember, pressing that back down towards the ground, but keeping that size of a piece of paper underneath your lower back. And last one on this side, and then rest. Windshield wiper once and twice. Okay, and then from here, you can bring both feet up into your tabletop position, so your shins create this flat surface. And you move your shins away until you have this vertical line down through the thighs, cradling your head. Exhale to come up and hold that shape. Now the elbows are going to come in towards the knees as they come in, and then stretch and open. Exhale, you're holding the body up, the upper body up, as long as you can. Exhale, bringing it in, and inhale to vertical. Exhale, bring the thighs back to vertical. Exhale, now relax the throat. This neck area is relaxed because your arms and your hands are supporting your head. Exhale and inhale. Do you see what I mean? Less is more sometimes. This is really tough because you're not using momentum. There's no cheating. Exhale. Last one. Exhale. And then inhale, bringing those feet down, stretching the arms overhead, stretching the legs long. Breathe in and out. And I'm going to turn on some music. And keeping everything in mind that we just kind of reviewed, let's do our best and do about 10 minutes of abs. So remember, you can do every other rep. And we are going to have a good time. Here we go.
When I was a young boy,
as you come up, and inhale to come down. Exhale to come up. Inhale to come down. Slight tap of your tailbone to keep you reminded that that muscle, your originating area, is engaged. Lift up and down. Spit out. Go up, down. Exhale.
All I've got is slow winds. 21st century's yesterday. You can carry all you want. Everybody does, yeah, that's okay.
I'm looking just over my feet. So there's this kind of 45
It's so wrong. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know.
Relax the neck and throat.
You're my kind.
Hold it up there, small. Shoulders off the ground now, hovering on the
I
ground.
need you to
Really
know.
small, but so effective. Time on your
I know
exhausted. Remember, keep a little reminder.
there's something
Fingertips right up in
about
that
you,
muscle.
girl,
Right in that TA muscle.
that makes me sweat.
4, 3. Bring the feet hip width apart. Add the legs. Go in and out. Stay up.
I'm
Keep your arms
lonely.
up. Stay up. Relax. Your front.
Can't take it all.
Bring the feet
I'm
up.
gonna live my life.
Now go forward. And stretch. Relax the head down. Breathe in.
I'm so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know.
And reach. Maybe to the floor. You can feel that muscle working right here when you pull it in and then away. So the other hand, feel that muscle. Exhale. Inhale, you can squeeze up, right, out, in. Exhale.
There's something about you, girl, that
Good.
makes
Now
me
place that
sweat.
leg onto the quad. So I'm going to go towards the screen. And I'm going to use the side of the head. So pressing this arm forward.
Can't take it all.
Exhale up.
I'm gonna live my life.
Rest. Stay open. Keep the elbow
I'm
back.
lonely.
Hold it up there.
Can't take it all.
Through the whole upper body.
I'm gonna live my life. So slide away
So the
and
shoulders
give
move away across like there's an imaginary
I'm so raw. I've got to let you know. I've got to let you know. So slide away and give
other leg. Flex foot.
I've
Use
got
the
to
other
let
arm as
you
an
know.
anchor. Press it down to the
You're
floor and
my
lift the other
kind.
arm up. Stay open and then come down, rest. Exhale up. Inhale down. Imaginary strength. Pull your shoulder up towards that other leg. Exhale up and down. Relax. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Smooth breathing. 3, 2. Don't let me forget the kick-ups. Don't let me forget. Okay, hold it up in pulse. Go.
Figures in the corner.
Open the body.
With the black
Open
hole
the body.
on.
Shake your anchor under.
Running from a bad home.
4.
With some cat inside.
Back to center. Go in. Here it is.
Where did you
Push
find
away.
her?
Come in.
Mom,
I have
you
less
on
than
lights.
40 minutes, but you can feel that muscle in the other
On
hand.
the streets outside.
Right up beside that hip.
Stay with
Feel
me.
it track the whole body working on the side.
Beautiful girl.
Stay with me. You can reach the leg at 45.
Beautiful
All the way
girl.
to the floor. Maintain that neutral spine. Yeah.
You wanna go home. And always, always.
3 more.
Street corner to
Exhale.
corner.
Full inhale.
Neon goes sing.
Let's do one more.
And she says, stay with me.
Place that foot down on the ground.
Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me.
Another thing that I like to do is having the legs straight and feet as well. Try straight. Using your arms
She's so scared, so frightened. Anything could happen. Right here tonight. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. You want to go home. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. Beautiful girl.
And last one. Bending the knees, hug it in. Open the legs, stretch. Good. And then bringing the feet down, rolling to one side. You can roll over onto your belly into Sphinx and stretch the front body. Shoulders back, magnetize your shoulders back behind you and then thread your chest through your arms in front of you. Pushing into your forearms, bringing the hips up slowly. Reach arms, reach arms. Cat pose, stretch the back up, and then melt the belly down towards the ground. Really go through that motion nice and slow. Exhale, contract. And then release. Thanks for joining that ab session. That was fun. Back to the basics. I'm going to feel that tomorrow. Hope you do too. Let me know what you think.